Sabo spills the beans. Hello One Piece enthusiasts, I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about One Piece chapter 1083. Well, what do we got? Finally, we don't get any Hachinosu, we don't get any Egghead, we do get, however, the events of Reverie. Whatever happened at Reverie with the revolutionaries and their plans and motives and how much progress they made, and even the point of even the discussion of Cobra, because it's actually very important to the entirety of the Revolutionary Army's movements, how they're affiliated with certain kingdoms and how they're not a fan of other kingdoms. We're gonna get into that though. So before we move on, make sure to like and subscribe, it helps the channel a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. Well, an early chapter this week. I am very happy that we get an early chapter. It's my birthday and I get to review One Piece chapter. I mean, I'm very grateful. Thank you all very much for listening, and thank you all very much for subscribing and supporting me throughout. Now let's get a move on. Talking about it, there's really nowhere to start. We knew that Ryokogu and Fujitora was there in the Holy Land of Marijua, and that they definitely will fight off against the revolutionaries, considering what was about to happen. And all of the revolutionaries came back in one place, and everyone at the events of Reverie, including Bonnie, Vivi, other than King Cobra, all the revolutionaries, including Kuma, were rescued, or somehow got away from the Holy Land of Marijua without having to face any severe damage. Now, with that being sidestepped out of the way, the Revolutionary Army had three goals. 1. Declaring war against the world government. 2. Freeing all the slaves. And 3. Saving Kuma. Well, technically they didn't save Kuma, but they did, but didn't at the same time because he went back, and there's this whole shenanigans going on around it. But they freed a lot of slaves. They knew that there were slaves in the Revolutionary Army, and of course declaring war on the world government. And alongside declaring war on the world government, they wanted to deplete their supply of food. And of course, the Holy Land being secluded from the rest of the world, they definitely have a harder time bringing food from other places to serve the Celestial Dragons, and if you deplete their food supply, they will obviously be in trouble. This is not anything huge, obviously, but it's enough to make them worried. It's enough to make them worried, and considering the Celestial Dragons, I'm not sure how the Celestial Dragons and the world government is dealing with the entire thing. So we do know that the Marines and the world government are separate organizations, but as to how the Celestial Dragons are affiliated with the world government, I am not exactly sure. I don't know how that relationship works. But it definitely is a problem for the Gorosei when you have the most secured land in the world of One Piece being attacked like this. I really doubt the protection of the whole thing. And it was only 4 revolutionary commanders, and they just did it. So it definitely fumbled them, especially with the uprising of 12 nations, among which 8 of them, I think it was 7 of them, that made it through, and 4 of them didn't. One Lucia got destroyed, and the other 3, something happened to the other 3. So definitely the world government is trying to sort of calm the situation down, but that's not enough. It's not enough of what they're doing, but troubles seem to be arising, and the world government at this point have troubles from everywhere. They have trouble from Cross Guild, they're having troubles with Shanks making a move, Blackbeard making a move, Luffy at Egghead, Vegapunk doing whatever he's doing, the revolutionaries making an uprising. They are now at the pickle, and they're now probably at the worst position that they could ever be in terms of losing power. And I'm going to talk about this whole shelf life and losing power aspect in a future video. But for now, this is how much I want to talk about it, and we can finally move on to, of course, the whole thing that happened in the fights. They fought, and good thing for them, a good thing for the Celestial, for the revolutionaries is that, of course, that, you know, the admirals, although they're there, they have immense power, but most of their power has something to do with destroying their surroundings or affecting their surroundings. And the place being Holy Land, the Holy Land, and with Celestial Dragons, Fujitora can't bring down meteors. And Green Bull, although can definitely fight, cannot use his powers to his full extent because, of course, the whole infrastructure of Marijua would be destroyed somehow if he were to mess stuff up. So the still revolutionaries were, the admirals were handicapped. They were definitely enough to stop all four of them, but they were definitely handicapped. That gave them an upper hand, and that made it a way for them to just get out of there. Which is I understand, but really, it was an infiltration mission. It was nothing about them finding the admirals, but they somehow had to do it because they don't really have a choice. And I really wanted some of the celestial dragons to go down with like Sabo's fire fist or whatever. I don't even know. But I really wanted some celestial dragons to go down. That didn't happen. And apparently Sabo didn't know that Kuma was in Marizhua. He really didn't know that. He reported this to Dragon by saying that Kuma was present with Saint Charlos and everyone in the Holy Land. He didn't know this, which means Vegapunk didn't relay information to Dragon, or maybe he couldn't, or something along that line. So, but they definitely knew that Kuma was on Marizhua because their goal was to save Kuma. But I don't know how that entire mess works. But I don't even know. I'll get past this one. And to top it all off, Cobra, right? Cobra's assassination, the entire thing with the Alabaster Kingdom. And I'm very glad that nothing happened to Shirahoshi, by the way. Saint Charlos was definitely planning something, and Sabo definitely did something to ruin the momentum, because Saint Charlos being a celestial dragon and you know, being how much power he has, he would have taken Shirahoshi easily. If it weren't for, I think it was Don Quixote. I forgot Don Quixote who. Anyways, not the point. Point is, Sabo definitely stopped them, which is why Kuma came back safe, and they couldn't do anything to Shirahoshi. As for Cobra, we knew that the Cobra was going to have an audience with the Five Elders. I don't really think that this audience with the Five Elders is what caused his death, but something beyond this, or something he discussed with the Five Elders that made them have to assassinate him, or something happened alongside that. So that conversation is very important. And last but not least, we got to introduce, I think, to maybe, I don't know how many characters there were, but the Holy Knights or whatever. One of which looked like Shanks. Now, we're bringing up the whole speculation of Shanks as a twin. Shanks is evil, or there's a counterpart to Shanks, or Shanks is different identities. I don't know, dude. It's just a silhouette. It's just a, you know, black shadow. Like, yeah, okay, a lot of people look alike in One Piece. This could be one of that. Like, who knows, maybe Shanks had a brother or something, and we know that Shanks was from the Fearland family. I wouldn't mind that being Shanks' brother or something. Like, that could even work. But that's just the point. But these guys apparently are what troubles the revolutionaries to begin with. Now, of course, they don't know about the existence of Im. Sabo definitely knows about it. And we're going to get to that in a sec. With the next chapter, maybe, or the next few chapters. But the Holy Knights, or whoever they are, the Grand Knights, will be the ones causing the most problems for the revolutionaries, and in fact, I think even Luffy. And we finally get to know that, yeah, we don't really need the Seraphims for Im-sama. We've already gotten Holy Knights defending him or her, and they're the top dogs of the world government. We'll get to that in a future video or whatever. We're going to talk about it. What powers they have and where did they come from. But that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the chapter and whatever. Until next time, peace.